I assume that the state is a law-abiding.
Of course, certainly.
Did you confer with your Attorney General before you moved in for any demolition?
So if you see an accident about to happen, do you need to confer with somebody before saving lives?
But you know that there could be legal implications before you demolish in a bid to save lives.
No. Personally, I was in conversations with the church. So they knew it was coming to this. When I allocated land to them, I asked them to move. I told them we're going to pull down.
Did they tell you that the matter is in court?
They didn't.
They didn't show you any documents?
They
because
did not.
We have
they did not show me anything.
Notice
they did not. They did not show me anything.
Here it is with us.
They did not show me anything. They certainly, because we were discussing. Their pastors came, and we were talking. They knew that certainly they were going to move, and the buildings were going to come down.
If the building was going to come down, you knew that they had the CFO.
I revoked it. Government revoked it.
The CFO?
Yes.
They also said did not follow due process.
That's not true.
Okay.
There's an intention.
We really must talk about this because what we have here in the High Court of Enugu in Enugu State of Nigeria, and this was actually signed by the director, Aneke Esquire, and the court order as follows. One, I really have to embolden this, that a motion ex parte is hereby denied, that a plaintiff is hereby directed to serve the defendants with all processes relative to the motion on notice within 48 hours from today, that at the interim the defendants are directed to evince restraint and not to advance further in the demolition exercise till the 3rd day of October 2012, when the motion on notice would be heard and determined. Issued at Enugu under the seal of the court and hand of presiding chief judge this 26th day of September 2012. 1 year, and they were given till October the 3rd for you to come back to the court by the state.
So there's an assumption.
This is an assumption.
No. Can you allow me to finish, please? 2012, you've read a document. October 2012, this is a year later.
No, it was given in 2012,
yes,
and they had till October 2012, yes,
exactly,
before they come back to court. So
exactly. So
you went back to court.
So the thing is, what happened after 2012 October?
No, because I had to read this, because initially you said you have no knowledge of whatsoever in court.
I personally was not served an injunction to stop my work. That's the thing.
Yeah,
and I'm going by what you read. I'm going by what you read. There's, as you said, as you've read out there, that we're meant to come back October 2012. Good. Certainly somebody must have gone back 2012, and the matter maybe may have been dismissed.
No, we shouldn't assume here, because this is a matter between the church and the state government.
Yes.
So do we run government without someone from the market or Okada will just go to the court on your behalf?
Oh, certainly not. Come on.
There must be someone.
There is an Attorney General of the state.
Good.
Whose job it is to defend the state.
That is why my colleagues were saying that. Did you speak with the Attorney General?
To do what? To ask the Attorney General for permission to carry out my job?
To know the status of this particular matter before you went ahead.
Well, I wasn't written. You would serve the Commissioner for
Because we're in a democracy. If the Attorney General is still in court on the same matter, and you go ahead to bring down this building, so what do you make of it?
I need to go to the history. This is the 3rd and final attempt we made at bringing down the structure. So within the 1st and 2nd attempts, if there was any legal impediment, we would have known. But there wasn't.
Okay. Assuming, or what if you find out that there was actually, you actually flouted the court orders on this? What would happen?
So the law will take its course. But recall, we'd given them somewhere. They've accepted. They'd moved. They've even held a service there.
What I was trying to get at, I think also took us back to the court orders, was, I was saying that you gave them compensation. You said you were not bound to, and I think also took us down to what was going on in the courts, because I was telling you that they said that you agreed to settle out of court, and it was because you agreed to settle out of court that they got that piece of land. You mentioned as much that for 2,000 square meters, you gave them 4,000 square meters.
Yes.
You said, call it compensation, call it government trying to have a human face.
Yes.
You gave them 4,000 square meters, you know, as whatever, compensation, you know, government human face. They're saying that they have not been able to access that land because the land has also been a subject of dispute between two communities, and that piece of land has also been given by one of the communities to another church. So they seem to be having problems there as well. Are you aware of that?
So the land is crown land. It's government land. The acquisition of that land was done early in the 19th century. I mean, I'm exaggerating figures of, but it's crown land. It wasn't used for a while. We saw that this was vacant land that we could now give the church. Squatters exist. Squatters exist everywhere. All they had issues with was squatters on the land.
Are you also aware that it was a subject of dispute between two communities?
I'm not aware of dispute between two communities. But I know, yes, that when they wanted to go in initially, that they met squatters. And they came to me and I addressed the matter.
Just squatters, not resistance?
Squatters, not resistance.
All right. Did the government sometime in 2012 set up any kind of committee, either of experts or professionals, to look into property, including that of MFM, in the guise of whether or not they were obstructing the flow of Asata River?
I'm not aware of that.
There's no such thing as site analysis on the remodeling of Mountain of Fire Miracles Ministry at number 3 Zik Avenue?
So that site analysis report would have gone through my directors to a sister ministry, the Enugu Capital Territory. So it could be that they were dealing with him on that particular matter.
And that didn't come to your office?
That didn't come to my office.
So I think if I had a group and my lieutenants decided to do something without my consent, that is illegal.
No, but then I'm
because this document we all have here.
Okay.
Sorry, I have to read this, and I can also let you have it. This is the Department of Urban and Regional Planning, and this is addressed to the Honorable Commissioner, Minister of the Enugu Capital Development Authority. I'm sure this is also within your purview. You oversee this, isn't it?
Not quite. That's a different ministry. That's a different ministry. But the issue
but it's
is
still on the same issue, site analysis on the remodeling of MFM building at number 3. We're talking about the same structure.
Yeah.
3 is Zik Avenue in Enugu.
Okay.
And they had to look at the legality of the church development, the setback standard, incidents of flooding, issue of plan approval, site coverage and parking space, findings and recommendations, and lastly recommendations, and they all signed.
And was the recommendation for the church to stay in situ?
That's why you should have seen it before you acted.
No, but it wasn't. Because if it was,
You haven't seen it.
That was
clearly.
but you say you haven't seen it.
No,
You haven't seen it.
I haven't seen. No.
Because if
You're not getting the issue. If I was doing something and a sister ministry was aware of an impediment, they would have informed me.